2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Do you think the West Coast Fever, I know they had a good pre-season so far, but, that was one little, tournament, if you like. Honestly, where do you see them sitting?
I still see them finishing top 4. Yes, I think what Olivia Wilkinson did at Team Girls Cup gives everyone confidence that the Fever will be just as strong this season.
What do you think of the coach?
Dan Ryan, he's great. He's an ex-netballer himself. He used to come and play against us when we used to have scratch matches against the men when we were training for bigger events. So that was great. But no, the girls love him, and I'm pretty sure at times he still wants to get out there and actually show them what to do on the court.
Oh, lovely.
That's great. Yeah.
Let's go to the footy now. So, you played on the weekend for the mighty Demons.
History was created on the weekend. We got to run out. It was 35 degrees in Mandurah. Never, ever have I worn zinc while I've played netball in my career.
Yes.
It was really different getting ready for a football game versus a netball game, because netball game, for me, it was all about having fake tan, making sure I had a braid in my hair, making sure I had a bit of makeup on.
A ribbon.
Yes, like all that stuff. I had none of that for football. I went the exact opposite. But yeah, it was very hard. I'm not going to lie, it was hard. Yeah.
So you started on the bench?
I started on the bench. I played ruck. I came on in ruck, which was good. Had a couple of hit outs. Unfortunately, we did not get the ball in our forward end very often during the game.
What was the score?
A lot to not a lot. We failed to kick a goal, but that's okay. We've got
onwards and upwards.
Exactly. And when I think about it, we're playing against Peel, who are a very good side. They're great.
Yeah.
They've got lots of experienced players, and I think we only had a handful of our girls who have ever even played Waffle W before.
Yeah, right.
So it's been a good learning experience, and we'll just keep pushing because I can feel it. Like when we were getting close to kicking a goal, it was really exciting out there. I never thought I'd say that before. So, it was good fun.
Shawnee, when you're not winning,
yes,
you're learning.
You are.
Of course.
We learnt a lot.
Yeah. Failure's feedback. Write that down.
Yeah, there you go.
The other thing is that there was an incident during the game. A lot of people talking about whether you should be available to play this week because you're a dirty player. It's a dirty player.
Not a
Nat
dirty
got text.
player. Do you know what?
Everyone's hitting us up.
I'm trying to really access the aggressive nature of playing sport, because when I was in netball, you couldn't be aggressive, because if I had an offensive contact, I would get shot by my teammates, basically. Yes. So the fact that I'm allowed to get a little bit more rough and tough and that there's things going on behind the ball is, it's a little bit different to me.
Like jostling.
A little bit of jostling, a little bit of pushing. We're talking about pushing players into a contest and how you just don't know how balanced a player is when you give him a little shove and what's going to happen. I may have accidentally connected a fist with another player's head, but it was all in the spirit of the game.
And
so
you said she deserved it.
She did. She was making a mockery of me, so I had to slow her down somehow. So it was very good. But no, Waffle W has kicked off. Waffle is kicking off this weekend, which is great. I feel like there's more ex-AFL players than ever coming into our competition, which is great. Bulldogs have a couple, and Claremont, we were talking about Claremont have some good players this year.
Yeah, they are full of young, effervescent young players.
Effervescent.
good word, Shaun.
Right, Shaun.
Shaun's read something
brave.
to
What happened?
But the Mighty Sharks will play their first home game against West Coast at Shark Park this weekend. And I know Brad Shepherd, former West Coast Eagles, working down there. He's working extremely hard to get this thing off the ground. And he's been working like to 9 o'clock at night a lot of the times down there. And he's so passionate for the Sharks at the moment. It's outstanding. I really
great.
like that. There's some incidences that will be looked at by the AFL now that it seems like the media has set this agenda, because they kept showing it over and over, and that is pushing an opponent, and then that opponent gets hit by the pack or gets run over by somebody.
Pushing them into the path of another player or into the action,
And once again, it's all outcome-based because, in footy games since the dawn of time, people have pushed people.
Yes.
And they've, run into opponents. But in this case, now that it's really bizarre that you've been watching these games for a long, long time. I've never seen so many people get hurt by getting pushed into a pack of players.
Or are we just noticing it more?
Yeah. Is it the red car thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you notice red cars when you think of...
Yeah, if you think about red car, if you start talking
Well,
about...
we talk about red cars now. From
Yes,
now
you
on,
will
yeah.
see red cars everywhere you go today.
We'll talk tomorrow, see how it went.
It's kind of weird, though, when you set a precedent, though, and then players get nervous. It was like, tackles. We've gone through lots of different things. It was if you dissent, gave the umpire dissent and things like that. So I feel like it goes in waves. It's that pushing, and it's the not 15 metres as well, which is really getting players this season as
man.
well.
Mate, there was one in the Derby where it was an inbound kick from one of the Dockers guys, probably kicked it 20 to 25 metres, and it was play on.
15.
And I'm like... What is the umpire doing?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And there was one against the Gold Coast and the Eagles where I'm going to say it's the Eagles team. I wasn't sure which team it was, but they kicked it and it was called not 15, so it was play on. So they kicked it back to where it began, and then that was
okay.
which is exactly the same distance. Anyway.
It's mystifying, isn't it? Mystifying.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
First of all, we'll start with Min Woo Lee. It was a great result for the Australian, taking out the Houston Open yesterday, 1.7 million American dollars.
Nice.
To be able to go along with that beautiful trophy as well. It's just so delightful because he's been in the running now for quite some time.
Yes.
And he's just been unable to close one out.
Yeah. He's only young, though, still, isn't he? What is he?
He's 26.
Yeah.
And you know the best part about Min Woo? You see him around all the time. He's always down the left bank.
Yeah.
He was at the Wildcats recently.
Shooting
Nat,
some
you saw
hoops.
him
Yeah,
hoops. He goes for the Freo Dockers. He's always playing golf with the boys down at Royal Freo.
Royal Freo,
Andy Brayshaw reckons he beat him in over 9 holes one day. They played a second 9. And he got whipped. He got absolutely whipped. But Min Woo, golf is such an amazing game. I don't think you ever play a round of golf, even if it's the round of your life,
and be happy
come
with
off
it.
and be happy.
Yeah.
For some
always
reason.
something, one shot that you could have done better,
100%, Nat.
Or in my case, a lot of shots that I could have done better.
I know, but if you played 17 good holes or 18 good holes and missed a putt, you'd go to bed dreaming about that.
Yes, if you're Min Woo, if you're me, if you have one good shot, you go, see, I can do it. I'm physically capable of it.
So now
I just have to do it. Yeah, and when I've been to watch, when they had big things up at Karrinyup and that kind of international tournaments and stuff, and you go, those elite players still do play some terrible shots from time to time, and you go, I'm like that. I could be that good. I just have to do more of the good shots and less of the bad shots.
100%.
But they're still duffing shots from time to time.
I played up there a number of times up in Karrinyup. I was lucky too. One time I played with Sam Groth, the former Australian tennis player. You've never seen a bloke hit a ball so hard in your life. I was
Well, didn't he
scared
hold the
for
record for serving tennis? So he's got some strength for the speed. Yeah.
Anyway, back to Min Woo Lee.
Yes.
This is him talking about the mental capacity it takes to close out a round.
Just the mental side of it. I was trying to be someone that I wasn't really. And, it's easy to do that. You try to play it cool and try to, but you just got to be very mentally strong and very in the presence while you are trying to win these tournaments. You get ahead of yourself. You played so good the first 2 rounds and you want to keep that up. But when you hit a poor shot or an average shot, from playing the first 2 rounds, unbelievable. It's kind of like, what's going on? Is it the pressure? And you kind of, it's very mental.
Yeah.
It is mental. You can't go into your shell. And it looked like he was going to because on the 17th, sprayed it into the water. Yeah. But he was able to take the drop and get back in the moment.
With your putting, because it's such a precision thing.
Yep.
And we're talking millimetres.
Yep.
That, if you're too tight in the wrist or, you just tense up in your neck even at that moment, it can alter the length of the putt or the direction slightly, and that can be enough to throw you off. So, the sports psychologists do a lot of work with these guys for good reason.
They certainly do, yeah. I remember Stephen Leaney as an old WA golfer. He was very successful for a long time, and he put a lot of time into that mental area. Everyone does these days.
That's right.
That's just the way it is. The physical cut, they always say, is full, just generally for the guys at that level. It's just the mental capacity to be able to deal with the situation.
And that's the difference, yeah.
And finally, I just want to talk about Andrew Krakouer, who passed away yesterday. Tragedy, being so young.
42 is way too young, for sure.
And there was a lot of people sharing times of which he was a part of their life yesterday, and certainly talking about his football career and how he's able to turn his life around. He spent 16 months in jail after a fight in Fremantle. And when he came out, he needed to prove himself again as a human being, and also if he wanted to have any kind of sporting career going forward, and he did that. And on the news last night, I was watching Ryan Daniels, and he talked about the grand final for Swan Districts he played that year. And I went to that game, and I was with Docker's recruiting guys. I was trying to sell them. You've never seen a guy play better in your life in one game.
So amazing skills for starters.
Amazing skills.
And he could just ignite a game off his own boot, basically, didn't he? And you know, match-winning goal in that particular game.
41 possessions.
Yeah.
I thought he kicked 5 goals. In the paper it said he kicked 4, but that is unbelievable.
It felt like 5.
He was so dominant in that game. It's one of the best games of football I've ever seen a human being play. Of course, after that, the Collingwood Football Club picked him up, and he was very successful over there, taking Mark of the Year, doing a whole heap of other incredible stuff. And, he's a big loss.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Shaun.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.